So there's a little something going on between Alonso and Gasly. We got like a half a second difference. Everyone else is fairly spaced out. It's a train. We're halfway through. It's 24:52, and it's a train. You see, this is Formula One hates this. They don't want to see cars evenly spaced all the way around the track because it shows a linear progression of here's the fastest people back to the slowest people. But really, when you look at their lap times, that's not this big of a difference in their lap times. So what is the problem here? Where we have a field that's separated by these linear spaces, yet if you looked, the difference between first place and say 8th place is less than a second in qualifying. Why is this guy 19 seconds behind right now? So what is it? What's making this happen right now? You see, they introduced over fucking regulation. Everybody needs parity. And we're going to do that by making you spend less money. You see, they're controlling. It's like a fucked up relationship, okay? Where a person's trying to tell you, this is how you need to be to make me happy. I'm sorry. The reason we're seeing this is there's innovation has been halted. No, the human imagination has been stripped from Formula One, and it comes down to the driver. I really believe that, actually. We have so few engine manufacturers. It's just, this is boring. This is boring. There are individual battles going on, okay? Alonso and Gasly have separated a bit. Perez and Albon are separated. Right now we got Albon and Stroll that are fairly close, and Leclerc right now and Stroll is tight. But then that's it. There's these little challenges going on, and the majority of the crowd is knowledgeable in Formula One, especially here at Silverstone. The English fans know their shit, okay, and they know what they're saying, and they know this track. They know what's going on, right? And for them, it's probably super, super interesting because they see those individual battles going on and they know what it means. The problem is the majority of the TV crowd out there who's NASCAR fans, IMSA fans, GT fans, people in other series, and then the people who've all of a sudden Formula One's taken off. They're filming a movie here as they're racing, and we had the series that came out, Drive to Survive, I think it was, and the popularity is growing. But see, NASCAR, the way they fought this was really pretty easy. You get this much horsepower. Well, you have restrictor and non-restrictor, okay? But you get this much horsepower. And they put a fucking template on your car to make them all identical. And so now what you have is, okay, is your engine builder better? Are you going to be able to produce horsepower throughout the entire, however many laps? Is your car going to be set up properly? Because they don't tell you how to set everything up. They just tell you this is the rules you have to run by. And what you get is all those cars all fucking bunched up. Now, in that case, parity works because they're not road course cars. They're on ovals or tri-ovals. And not too many street circuits, although I really enjoyed Chicago a lot. I got to tell you, that was one of the more fun races that I've watched in a very, very long time, including Formula One. I thought it was fantastic. And the Camaro at Le Mans. When you see stuff like that, you're like, there's racing. That's what racing is about. I don't think it's possible to have Formula One make the changes that need to be made to make this a much larger field, more entertaining for the viewers. If we're going to put it in the driver's hands, okay, you're going to have to do something different. And I've always thought, when you look at the price of a Formula One piston, it's not that it's made of fucking unobtainium. It's that it's been inspected by and manufactured by someone who overcharges anyway because of their quality level. And all the inspections that have to be done and all the testing. And I mean, it's just, it's fucking unnecessary. Because you can go buy a crate motor from Ford or Chevy and hang just a few $1,000s, of shit on there, and you're good to go. You know what I mean? $100,000, boom, fucking 3,000 horsepower that's going to get you through 25 laps. Maybe not much after that, but I mean, come on. And you don't need a price cap when you can replace motors or rebuild motors. They don't rebuild Formula One motors the way they rebuild a standard motor. They can't bore them back out, and they can't, they're the price and the development costs and shit is just fucking stupid. Just give them crate motors. For me, that's what stock car is. You can buy that fucking motor they use. And they're dependable. Come on, they beat the shit out of those things lap after lap after lap after lap. Come on. What we're talking about here is brakes and good aerodynamics and things like that. You could have a Formula One type series with cars that were as fast or faster than Formula One for a quarter of the money. A quarter of the money. You just need to let people innovate so that when you go out there, it's not like, if you have this chassis and this motor combination, you're going to finish in third place 66.5% of the time. That's fucked up. That's not racing. I want to know that when I go to a race, anyone has an opportunity to win. It comes down to the driver. I mean, immediately drivers would separate themselves into the best to not the best, because now you're not just relying on a cookie cutter type platform. What you have is every weekend you could have something totally fucking different that the driver has to contend with. Well, we've got this whole different, complete new body package going on this weekend. And the driver would be like, what? Let them put 4 discs brake systems on front and rear. Allow them to come up with axle designs to incorporate braking systems. Let them have hydraulic braking systems. Let them have electric scavenging systems like you do in Formula One. I mean, we're talking about a series that you could... almost anybody who's running and racing now on a professional level could start a team, no problem. You'd have people immediately, professionals who went, oh yeah, I know that fucking crate motor inside and out. I could rebuild it with my eyes closed. There's probably 50,000 of those guys, you know what I mean, in the United States that could be professional crate motor experts. And Americans love their V8s, you know what I mean? The LS series, I mean, come on. We all know that you can get 3,000 horsepower for a tenth of what it costs you to get, 900 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower out of a Formula One car. And then the reason you have to tell them, well, you can only have 6 motors or whatever a year is because, well, then, you're that's part of the cost thing. They try to regulate you cost-wise to separate the good teams from the bad teams. That's fucking stupid. It should be human mental talent, driver behind the wheel, and then the imaginative designs of people that could be changed every fucking weekend. As long as your car met certain standards, weight, it can only weigh this much. It has to be under 3,000 horsepower. You can have any design you want. As long as it's under this horsepower rating, you can do anything you want. And you get 25 motors a year for the same price that it would cost you to get 6 engines for Formula One. And they can be rebuilt. I don't know. You see, racing has kind of become controlled. When you look at the track owners and the TV people and their organizations themselves, they kind of have a monopoly where they all get together and try to milk the cow as hard as they can. I don't see competition between track owners for getting better races there. I don't see competition from track owners, really. It's not in the news. I don't hear about it in any race show. I don't hear about any racing announcers talking about it. You know what I mean? None of that. People would come and watch it. I've talked about the X Class for so many years now because being a race driver my whole life, boats, cars, and bikes. I know what people want when it comes to entertainment. They want to know that their driver tonight has a chance to win. The guy that's from their hometown thing, you know what I mean? They want to know he has a chance to win. They don't want to know when they show up that most likely, 87.5% of the time, they're going to finish in 13th place. They don't want to know that. That's not entertaining for them. And the teams, that guy could put a fucking crate motor in his Formula One car making 3,000 horsepower with dual turbos, hanging out in the fucking wind, everything else, and it still wouldn't matter because with that much horsepower, he could command whatever he wanted it to do. Wouldn't matter if the body bubble had to be bigger to accommodate the turbos. It wouldn't matter. Aerodynamics wouldn't matter as much when you got $3,000 at your disposal. Fast pedal, womp. There needs to be that class. When I grew up, I was lucky. I grew up when Prudhomme and McEwen were there. There were rivalries that and Don, the king, you never knew what he was going to show up with on any weekend. And the announcers would literally say, "We don't know what's going on. He's got it in the trailer. We haven't seen it yet." And then he rolls it out, and here's this car with little front wheels and shit on it. Everybody's freaking out. But there's nothing. Their rule book didn't say you couldn't do that. You just had to pass safety. If your cage was secure and your fire suit and if everything was up to snuff and they thought that you would be safe in case of an accident because all these cars crash, all of them. Look what Grosjean went through. If that doesn't tell you how much safety thinking goes into the Formula One car, in any other era that he would have been chopped in half. Right at the waist. Just would have was taken him off right under the fucking shoulders. Or he would have burned to death for sure. But I mean, they're just pretty damn amazing, man. Right? So safety, safety, safety. I'm not saying let's have an X class that is going to be overtly dangerous as the entertainment factor. I hate that. It used to piss me off before a drag race. People would see me out testing, and these people aren't normally, drag fans, and they'd see you performing hard on your bike, and they'd go, "Man, you're gonna kill yourself doing that." Not, "Bro, your bike is fast. That's fast." No. "Dude, you're going to kill yourself doing that." Race fans won't say shit like that. They understand, yeah, you could kill yourself doing that. There's no doubt about that, But we don't talk about that because the idea is to be the opposite of that. To make sure that if in the event of anything happening, you are safe, that you do have proper safety gear on. I did my slide down the road I lost my fingertips. I got phony knuckles and shit. I did my sliding down the fucking asphalt. Okay? I mean, I know, but in any of those other accidents at that speed in a car, you might be pretty screwed unless you had outstanding roll bar, well designed, well, executed and welded up properly. So, there's danger in any sport. Um, Most motorcycle pros, they all got dings and dangs, all of them. It's just inevitable. Formula One, people used to die on a regular basis in Formula One. The reason that it's an enjoyable sport is people aren't dying like they used to. Yes, we lose drivers, but it's not like it used to be. This is about a team effort. Who can do the fastest pit stop? Whose car is going to go the distance? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But when you formalize that, saying, okay, here you go, here's our relationship list of you must act like this in order for us to be happy list. And that's what Formula One is. It's a fucking business. But I don't think that they have a future as far as new. It's Formula One. That's old school, man. This is the prestige that they have will never be, conquered. I put the Indy 500, right, and Le Mans, Formula One, like here at Silverstone. I mean, they've proven themselves to be worthy of having a crowd come and watch you, because over the course of 100 years, these race fans are knowledgeable. They know their driver. They know what the stats are. They know he's going to finish 14th. They know he's going to finish 10th, but he might finish 5th. And in which case, that would be fantastic. That would be great. And they would be happy because they would understand that 5th place, even though it's 4 places from first, is a damn good finish, and they would be happy and go home. You know what I mean? But the majority of race fans, for entertainment purposes, they don't want that. I think what they want is the complete, total fucking unknown every weekend. You got the same driver every weekend, but if every weekend you were allowed to bring new designs, new aero, new engines, new trannies, new whatever you wanted to do, different types of steering systems, anything you wanted to do, period. Moving aero flaps, computer aided engine control, whatever you could imagine. If you let them do that in a safe car, people would pay to see that. People would pay to see that. It would. I'm telling you right now, it would beat NASCAR, Formula One. It would. I don't think either one of even NASCAR, where they fill those fucking stadiums. If people ever got a taste of the X Class, they'd never go back.